Okay. So now you got to introduce yourself.
I introduce myself?
Yes.
I am Bad News Roberto Cruz. One half of the Access Express, one half of the Cream Street Mafia.
Also Killer Pizza.
Yes, Killer Pizza. Subscribe.
Yes, because that's my most favorite.
So, what you guys want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling or something? I don't know.
I mean, we could do wrestling. We could do
got my ass
movies.
beat.
You did get your ass beat.
Just gave 2 Bronco Busters for the first time in my career. That was the first.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that was the first 2. I thought that. I was like, oh, that's supposed to be terrible.
Why is that the first time you've ever done that?
I guess I just never wanted to do it. I don't know. My tag partner does it, and he wasn't there to do it. So I think it's funny. I think it's funny for me to do it because I'm fat and I was in trunks. So
I thought it was.
Brody told me he didn't see it coming. I'm like, he probably thought I was going to throw a knee or something. But
it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, I must say.
Yep.
I was watching him the entire time he was in the ring. Didn't take my eyes off him.
Yeah. But the Ronin Rumble, good show. We got the W over the Den. And didn't win the match, didn't win the Rumble, but hey, got to throw Mad Dog out, so I'm good with that.
That's a shame. That's a shame. See, and I was trying to root for you, and now I can't because I gotta rep a guy who's got the same last name as I do. Sorry, not sorry. I love Killer Pizza, but
oh, I appreciate it.
No, you're a bad man.
Oh yeah, definitely the baddest. Bad News Cruz.
I'm aware it's in his name. No, you're a good heel because I don't like you.
I appreciate it. You know, when I first started too, I just think a lot of guys. I'm kind of more old school. I just think the heel is lost. You know, there's certain guys like MJF and certain wrestlers who still carry it on these days, but with like social media and stuff, it's hard to kind of carry it through. And I've known so many guys, like I've been at shows before where like a guy would run an angle breaking another guy's leg, and then he goes out at intermission and shakes hands with all the fans. I'm thinking if you just kept that hate and everything, you would draw so many more people the next show. And I just think like, I don't know, you got to be committed as a heel. I guess that's what I'm getting at, and it's pretty satisfying.
I feel like, to a point, like you got to let it down sometimes, right? Like you can't be a jerk all of the days.
I don't add any fans on my Facebook. I don't talk with them. There's some fans that were at the show today that have been watching me wrestle my whole career, almost 8 years at this point. And I haven't accepted their friend requests. I don't go out and talk with them. I just really wanted over all these years to build up that they actually hate my guts. Because I do. But I think that's the thing that's lost with the heel and everything, if we're going to talk about heels and everything. Because if you can build that animosity, I want to be hated so much as a villain that I could face the lowest babyface on the card and he would come off as a main eventer, and you can elevate somebody based off the heat.
That's pretty nice.
And the more they hate you, the less you got to do, really. Makes it a lot easier.
Wow.
Not that I don't want to do a lot, but
I mean, that seems like a heel thing to do. Lazy.
No.
Lazy. No, I like heels. I like heels. I like you.
You got a favorite heel? Like pro wrestler?
I mean, a fancy heel?
No, just a favorite heel.
Maybe we see like Josh Morris.
Is he here?
No, he left. Of everyone, Adam Effenweg.
Yeah.
It's a good choice.
Adam Effenweg.
Yeah, I just think being a villain can be tough. Some people are meant to be baby faces. Some people are meant to be heels. Some people can be both right down the middle of the road. But you really got to commit to it to be the most terrible, deplorable person with no redeeming qualities.
Well,
because a lot of it's like a lot of these little kids that come to the crowd. You got to think too, like the little kids believe in it and they think it's real. And I think a lot of people don't look at it that way. In the days of social media, I think a lot of people work for the other adults, their peers, and they want to put something out on TikTok or Instagram. Here's this big move I hit. Here's this, but you get people really to hate you, especially like little kids or anything. They're going to want anybody to kick your ass or whatnot. And it's all about putting butts in the seats.
I mean,
you bring one kid, they might bring their friends. They got to come with their parents.
That's true.
4 or 5 people instead of one. But
that's some dedication, though.
It's fun.
Is it?
That guy's good. Oh yeah.
To be a jerk all the time?
Yeah.
I can't. I feel bad being a jerk for pretend.
Within the realm of the show, you got
No, I don't. I feel bad being a jerk to stupid, ugly Scott Atlas, stupid, ugly head.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad, even though he's ugly.
Yeah, I think I really am a villain, though, because my closest friend group, Nick Baker, my tag team partner in the Cream Street Mafia, says I'm the biggest jerk in the friend group. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, in my shoot life, I'm like, I think I'm a pretty nice guy. And he starts, like, breaking down every person. I'm like, wow, everybody else is, like, really nice. And just, like, with my sense of humor and everything, I'm like, oh, I guess I am the jerk. I guess it comes full circle and everything. But I don't know, just to entertain, you know. It is fun.
I'm so sorry. It is fun. So what's the funnest thing?
In pro wrestling?
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe not in the match, but like about this life. Like, what's the funnest thing? What keeps you coming back?
there's a lot of things. It's the weirdest.
What's the most? What's the one thing if it stopped happening, if it stopped being a thing, you'd be like, nah, this ain't for me no more. No more. I'm done.
Well, I want to win every match, and if that don't happen, I'm out. But
Well,
just
I
kidding.
mean,
No, that's a good question, though. Honestly, you know, for me, there's a couple things. Like when it comes to in ring, it's like the endorphins of it. You know, boo me or whatever you want, or if a guy gets cheered, just to have that rush of the crowd. You know what I mean? And especially as a villain, sometimes you can have them right in the palm of your hand, and then
Yeah.
I'd imagine the admiration as a baby face. You know, and it's just a rush. You know, I like entertaining. I like making people have a good time. And then, I mean, on top of that, the road life is amazing. That's something that doesn't get talked about a lot when it comes to wrestling. It's outside the ring, just the camaraderie. It's like, I look at the age that I'm at, and it's like, I'm lucky to be in a locker room, you know, be playing sports. You know, a lot of people get after college if they go, or like a rec league. It's like, you can't really get this anywhere else with just everybody getting along, the community, you know, even sitting here with you guys talking right now. And then when I get in the car and ride back with my boys, my best friends, my brothers, just getting hype about the match, and just, it's a rush. You know, like Turn the Page by Bob Seger. That's kind of how I look at it, you know.
All right.
It's kind of the gypsy life, I guess.
All right. Fair enough.
My long-winded answer.
No, I
Might
like
be a bit
it.
long-winded.
No,
Don't
that
mind
was
me.
a truthful answer. I like it. So you do killer pizza outside of wrestling, right?
Yes.
That's so different than wrestling. And you talk about wrestling. Like, obviously.
Yeah, sometimes I try to.
Sometimes. But it's kind of like as an aside, like this is a thing I also do. This is a part of my life. But it's not like a main focus of it.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to just stay busy. You know, I'm not getting any younger, so I think like.
Well, how old are you? You're talking like you're 800.
Oh, I'm not. Just in wrestling years, I'm getting there. You know, but I just think.
Jesus.
You know, keep your interest in different things. Keep your hand in a bunch of different pots. We're not. I don't know if that's the expression. You know,
I think that
keeps
sounds
things fun.
right.
And with Killer Pizza, which anybody listen, that's my YouTube channel, just reviewing horror movies and everything.
It's really good. You should watch it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But
it's enjoyable.
I think that actually helped a lot with like my promos and everything when I started doing it, like talking to a camera, be uncomfortable doing that for wrestling. So I wasn't very comfortable with that at first, but that pretty much came about because none of my closest friends really watch horror movies, which is my favorite. I grew up watching all the stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. That's the best stuff. And I know you'll know this movie. I watched Street Trash for the first time, and it blew me away. I was like, what in the world? And there was nobody I knew I could talk to about this. They'd say, what the hell are you talking about? There's a handful of guys here that love movies and stuff. So I just tried to make the channel just to give my thoughts and try to build a little bit of a community and talk with people and just.
There's nobody that's watched as many movies as he has than you. Like I have not watched that many movies. In fact, you've recommended so many good movies. Huh?
I was about to say.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Thank you.
So many good movies. I don't even know when I was like home and not feeling good or whatever and couldn't, I think it was after my surgery.
Yeah.
Perfect time then.
Yes.
Right?
And you recommended like 2 movies and I watched them and they were so good.
Return of the Living Dead, the greatest horror movie of all time.
Oh my God. That was so good. And I had never watched it. And I not like.
You watched Night of the Comet also?
Yes, Night of the Comet was
good.
really effing
So good.
It was so good. It was really well done. Like it was weird as fuck.
You got to watch this one though. True Romance.
What is that even about? It's got crap. I can't remember his name. Christian Slater.
Yeah,
I
Christian
had the
Slater and
biggest crush on
Patricia
him.
Arquette.
Oh
you seen
yes.
Yeah.
See, I'm movie inept. There's so many. Why do I have to watch it? Why?
It's kind of like at the time was like a modern take of
Magnificent.
yeah.
The what?
Gary Oldman. I mean, he does one of those chameleon
Serious?
roles, but you're like, is that? Oh shit! It is.
Yeah, you can barely tell it's him. It's got so many good cast members in there. It was written by Quentin Tarantino, Hans Zimmerman doing
I
the
like him.
score, and it's like an all-star cast. And like for the time it came out, it's like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde.
Actually, you know what? I'm not. You don't even have to tell me. You just told me I need to watch it. You have not led me wrong yet.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
I heard that movie as it came out so close after Natural Born Killers.
I haven't seen that either.
I've never seen that either,
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
I know.
First time I saw that movie, I'm like, oh, I mean, it was just so intense walking out of the theater. I was like,
You just have to sit down for a minute, like.
Yeah, I was like, I had to process it, and it's like, it's an Oliver Stone film, and just the visuals and the music, and Woody Harrelson is phenomenal.
I love Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yeah.
Woody Harrelson's one of my favorite actors. He's always Woody Harrelson in every role that he plays, but I'm all right with that.
Oh, this one is really intense.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Yeah, just
I think you would really love it.
So why horror though?
well,
I'm sure you've probably covered this on your channel, but like I want to know.
it kind of comes hand in hand with wrestling, actually, where I was raised by a single mother, and I have one sibling, an older sister, and she was obsessed with horror. I don't know what got her into it, and we used to go to Videotron every Friday or Saturday, depending on if we were good in school, and they had a deal, 3 movies, 3 days for $3. My mom would get one, my sister would get one, I'd get one. I would get a wrestling tape every single time, or Rocky 1 through 5 every
Okay,
time,
really?
every single
Okay.
time. And back when I grew up too, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I would have to watch mine later. That's how I got into horror, because my sister's older, and we'd have to watch her movie first. And
Okay.
we would watch them late at night, and I was watching a lot of stuff I should have never seen. I know my mom watched like American Gothic not too long ago, and she was like, "You kids watch that when you were younger? That's gory, and you shouldn't have been watching that." I'm thinking we were watching Hellraiser, all types of stuff.
Nikes.
And yeah, that's just how I got into it. I think just watching so many of them, so they kind of go hand in hand. That's the love for wrestling too. 'Cause I remember I would single mother. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and me and my sister fought so much she gave up her master bedroom and let my sister have it. So she slept on rolled up blankets in the living room.
Oh,
Which,
bless.
looking back on it, one day, about to hit Mother's Day any minute now. The time
It
of
is,
recording, so that's
actually,
pretty cool. Happy Mother's Day to my mother.
Happy Mother's Day to his mother.
Mama Cruz. But I remember being a little kid, with the wrestling. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but
No, I like
she's sleeping
it.
in the living room. And we had the old RCA TV, box TV on the
Yeah.
ground. And I rented mostly stuff from like 88 to like 94 WWF.
Okay.
And I never wanted to turn the volume up too high because my mom was sleeping. And I would wake up as a little kid at like 5 in the morning.
Aw.
And I would sit Indian style, about this close to the screen, with the volume on 2.
Aw.
And every show seemed to end with Hulk Hogan waving the American flag and posing.
Aw.
One of my favorites growing up. And then,
That is the literal freaking best. That is the literal freaking best.
and I think that's in relation of like what we're talking about with like movies, and then like wrestling, like performing and everything, just like to get a feeling out of something. I think that's what it's all about in general. Movies, wrestling, same difference. Tomato, tomato.
It is the same. It's a performance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one's live and one isn't. Well, I mean, sometimes you just tape wrestling.
Yeah. But we grew up watching the good stuff, stuff from the 80s.
The
Nothing
good
better than
stuff?
that. Yeah, practical effects, all that. John Carpenter, the greatest of all time.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what did he do?
Whew.
Look, you said look, I do that. We were poor too, so we'd go once a week.
Carpenter did the first Halloween.
Halloween, The Fog.
Yeah, see, and I've never seen
The
either
Thing.
of those, and I haven't seen
They
that.
Live,
New York.
Escape from New York,
Nope,
to live in, or
never
Escape,
seen that.
Escape from LA too, which
She did.
Precinct, Assault on Precinct 19, right?
I have so many movies to catch up on.
All right.
Christine.
Stephen original, or what's that? Original?
Christine, like the Stephen King book?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
We did
I've
that
seen
movie.
that movie. That movie was
It's
good.
pretty good.
That movie was pretty good. That I was not as a Stephen King fan, I wasn't upset about that movie. That was pretty all right. See, I would just get Labyrinth or like
With David Bowie?
yes,
I'm a huge
or
David Bowie
like
fan.
or Sheena. I don't even want to hear. Shut the fuck up.
Sheena?
Yeah. Oh God.
I've never seen that.
Oh God, I love it.
What is it?
Yeah, oh my God, just Google it. It's such a horrible 80s movie. I'm embarrassed that I even said that out loud. And like I get like Willow or just fantasy shit.
Well, that's fun, you know. Labyrinth's one of my favorites. He preaching to the choir. I've watched the movie so bad. I'm like, how can I even sit
So no,
through this?
I need to catch up. You need to come up with like a 30 must-watch horror movies for inept horror fans. Pretty Please with Sugar Rush.
7 or something.
Okay, but top 7, but those are your top 7. Like, okay, so you know horror movies, right?
Yeah.
You are well versed, so you know what each like little genre and all like each subgenres and what is a good example of all of this horseshit, like the zombie movie, right? You were right. It was perfect.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It was so good. Like you should do a list of like, these are the movies that as a horror fan, you should at least watch these.
I'll do a big list, a big like 50 before you die.
I'm like, here, do some, yes, there we go. Watch before you die. I'm like, here, do some more work. Like you don't do 50,000 things all the time.
No, I do a lot, but I'm a pretty lazy guy when I don't have to. When I'm not working, wrestling, or doing that stuff, like to just chill.
I also like to just chill.
Tomorrow's gonna be rough.
Is it?
Yeah, Caesar Asher. It's hard. Son of a bitch.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing.
Just
sore.
I see. Sore from tonight. I'm slow. The amount of slow that I am is not because of this. It's just,
I'm right there with you.
Slow.
Hey, cheers to that. I actually trained with Caesar Asher.
With Uncle Chase?
My brain was looking in there for the name.
I trained with, he ended up going back to the House of Truth. Caesar did, like get a tune-up. I trained with Caesar, Bojack, and Backwoods Bam. That's how I met all 3 of them. Met them all at training.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird and amazing. What a small-ass world.
Yeah, I met Jeremy about the same time, too. It was the day before I did one training class, and then the day before the next one, we went to a wrestling show that Jeremy was on, JJ Hughes.
Yeah.
And Nick Baker was wrestling on the show, and he introduced us. And JJ Hughes grew up best friends with Bam, so then they introduced me to him. We're like, we're going to go to training the next day. So pretty much me and Nick Baker grew up together as kids.
Okay.
Caesar and Bojack grew up together as kids.
Yep.
JJ and Bam grew up together as kids. And now we're all...
That is the most serendipitous thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. If that wasn't meant to be, I don't know what could be.
Yeah, we got like a crew too. If you ever heard anyone mention it, the Freebirds. It's like our clique.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I watched an old video where somebody said
mentioned it or something.
Yes.
So pretty much when I got into wrestling, Uncle Chase had a ring and he had a warehouse that some guy had, and he was going to train a bunch of these guys. I don't know how they got all this together. I've known Uncle Chase since we were kids as well.
Oh.
And they grew up in the same neighborhood as Nick out in Pontiac before he moved into my neighborhood in Waterford.
Okay.
And then Nick tells me you want to learn how to wrestle, and I was like, well, I'll just go along. I can get a little workout. I can see some old friends, and I can like say I got in a ring.
All right. I mean, fair enough.
It was Chase Barnett, Sean Silver, and Barry Slammers were the ones that were training me. It was terrible. I hated it. I mean, they did a good job. I got beat up. I hated it. Everything hurt. I remember taking a belly-to-back suplex, slamming my head on the mat, being like hurt real bad. I got out of there, and Nick Baker, which I've been on this ride with since day one, he was like, so what'd you think, man? I said, terrible. It was terrible. I got my ass beat. I hit my head. this or that. I'm just griping. He goes, so you're not coming back? I go, oh, I'm coming back. And I couldn't explain why. I don't know why. It was just like you go back to the question you're asking why I like it. There's just something.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Something in that makes it, the adrenaline or just the way it pumps through your veins. I don't know what it'd be like to be addicted to like hard drugs, but I'd imagine being a wrestler is relatable. Like you just can't stop doing it. So when we got into training, Bojack and Caesar joined up, and then Bam came later, and me and Bam, we were running his first drills ever. I was working with him, and they kind of linked us together like right away. Like we were, because we had good chemistry. So like, you guys always do the drills together, whatever they were doing. And then I know Nick Baker lived at Bam's for a little while. I don't know if he was at the time, but I remember I started going to Bam's house, and I'm really going beneath the layers here because like in front of a crowd, that's like my worst enemy since day one.
Yeah.
I had my second match ever against Bam. And but I get to his house and we're just drinking some beers and we're listening to Sublime and we're talking about wrestling. And I'm like, man, I just get along with this guy so much. We click so much. And we're sitting in this room. We started listening to Leonard Skinner. We're listening to Freebird. And, we had one too many Steve Weisers that night probably. And we were like, let's make a group. It was originally the Michigan Freebirds because we're both really big fans of Terry Gordy, Michael P.S. Hayes, the original Freebirds. And we kind of thought, like, let's make a group, the Freebirds, because we're about to start getting bookings sooner than later. And we're like, this way, if people try to take advantage of us, we can, like, strengthen numbers. Like, we won't let this happen to you. We'll ride together. We'll hang out together. We'll be brothers. And the original Freebirds, it was Jeremy, Bam, me, Nick Baker, Bojack, Caesar, and our friend Pope Brandon Brownson. And then we added some other people over the years and everything. And
I'm sorry, Bojack.
screw Bojack.
No, I feel so bad.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, it was all of
What, because he's got to work tomorrow, his side job, being a stunt double in gay porn? Don't cancel me. That's a funny joke, okay? Hey, don't cancel me. That was funny.
I laughed. So if you're going to cancel him, you can cancel me too.
It's just become a brotherhood, and we've been through so many trials and tribulations. We've been there for each other through everything. You know what I mean? Like when I tore my rotator's cuff early in my career, like all my boys were there for me, the Freebirds. When Nick broke his leg, we were all there for him. When Bojack lost his testicles in that horrific jet ski accident, we were all there for him. It's just, you got to be there for each other.
That's awful. I didn't know he lost his testicles.
In a jet ski accident, you got to be careful hitting those waves.
How in the fuck does that happen?
Got to ask him, That's why he's so mean all the time,
Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Wow. So bad. I feel
reason to be angry.
It's because I'm keeping him out late. Gonna hate me. I'm gonna be like Yoko Ono.
Yeah, but those are my buddies there, and that's a big thing of why I keep doing this too, just the camaraderie, the road trips and everything.
It makes it worth it. It makes it worth tomorrow when you're going to feel like a Mack truck hit you, because it did.
Well, I might not think that right when I wake up, but
because it did hit you. I'm fairly certain that was a Mack truck.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of bad boys in there tonight. A lot of big dudes in Super Shogun, hard hitters and everything. You're a hard hitter. Yeah, I don't know.
You try.
I can swear on you, obviously, right? They nicknamed me Pussy Strikes when I first started wrestling. Nick Baker, because I just couldn't throw a strike. I remember, so Nick didn't move in with Bam till later because at the time he had his own trailer, and he had me and Bam over one night, and we were drinking tequila or something, and they start chain wrestling in this back room where there's no room at all. And it was the craziest thing. They're just dripping sweat, just going at it. And full disclosure, Nick Baker does not drink at all. And he was, drinking with the boys. We're in the kitchen. He's got the handle and he's pouring shots. He's like, all right, I'm going to show you guys some strikes. This is a forearm. He's got his shirt off and everything. I'm sweating. He goes, you grab him here, a forearm, you hit him in the part of the wrong neck at the meaty part, so you're not hitting him in the jaw or anything. He's like, all right, come here. He gives Bam one, and Bam shakes his head. He looks like he's like Looney Tunes seeing birds flying around his head. And he says, okay, you come in. right, yeah, I'm gonna give you one. He goes to throw a form at me. Boom! Takes a step back, stumbles back a little bit. He goes, you see? I bet you didn't even feel it at all. I'm sitting there forgetting like what state I'm in. I'm like thinking, where am I? We're drinking tequila. I'm like, are we in Mexico right now? What's happening right now? But Nick Baker's that guy. That's my best friend for life. You know, it's not a gimmick, the Cream Street Mafia.
No?
You know, we started as rivals too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
If you ever go back and watch like the IWE story, like from back when, our whole tag team, the Cream Street Mafia, is all one big story from 7 years ago. The timeline all links together.
That's a long
Yeah.
time. My goddess.
He was a literal baker when he started, and he come out.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That's
like
how.
A baker, like I bake.
Like the wrestling gimmick. Yeah, he had the singlet with sprinkles on it. He come out with flour on his face and a baker's hat and an apron.
What the
and
fuck?
like how Hulk Hogan was back then. He was like just a white meat baby face. Really good at it. Like a guy too that can play both sides of it. One of the best wrestlers. I've been asked before who's my favorite guy I've been in the ring with. It's my tag partner. He's one of the smartest guys. So I'm a heel and he's playing the gimmick where like it was like an anniversary show and he comes out and
shit.
At the time my mom was working at like Aubrey's Bakery.
Okay.
And they used to throw these big sheets of brownies out. Like you could buy them for like $1, this whole thing. So I got all these brownies and he come out and he goes, since it's the anniversary, we're gonna do fan appreciation night. Everybody in the crowd gets a brownie. And then I come out and I say, hey, instead of giving everyone brownies, maybe, we charge them a little money and cut it in half, you know what I'm saying? And charge these idiots all this money. Call the fans idiots, cheap heat. And he's like, I don't know. They're not idiots. These are for free. And I said, well, can I at least have a brownie? And I just called the fans idiot. He goes, let me ask the people. Should Cruz get a brownie? And,
no.
They're all
booing you, I'm
so
sure.
then I jump them. I destroy all the brownies. And that's what devastated everyone the most. Because like you would think that costs a lot of money to get that many. And just smash them. If I can't have one, nobody can.
Okay, fair.
And I threw them out. And then we really started feuding over brownies.
That's hilarious. Brownies are fucking important, man.
And I told you earlier the story with Roberto Cruz. It's one of my many monikers back in the day. So I go to Russell Baker, and he's got cupcakes and everything. He's bringing out some sweets or whatever. And I jump him, and I start eating the sweets because he wouldn't hand them over or whatever. And then through the match, just like I start selling differently, like my stomach and everything. And eventually through the match, I just book it all the way into the bathroom. And everyone's like, what the hell is going on? And he lifts under his baker's hat. He has the thing of X-Lax. He put X-Lax in the cupcake or whatever.
Awful.
So I'm poisoned. I'm in the bathroom
so
going. Keep in mind, behind the curtain, I go in the bathroom where I'm thinking, okay, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Because he's supposed to follow me in there.
Okay.
But a cameraman followed him in. We didn't know what was happening. So he
shit.
just starts lighting my ass up.
Oh, God.
Before he takes me out, I grab some toilet paper and shove it in my trunk to be
That's
hanging out and
beautiful.
throw me in. And then
That
Roberto
is
Cruz was
such a
born.
mean thing to do, though. I love that. I love that.
And then I beat him by grabbing a chain that was baked into a cake. Classic wrestling.
That's interesting. That's wrestling's very comic booky.
Escape prison.
It's very comic booky. It's very like old like Popeyes. That's what JJ reminds me of. He reminds me of Popeye. When he does the chapstick, it reminds me of the spinach.
It's crazy how popular that got.
That's so popular. The things that go over like amaze me sometimes.
I think something I was always told in training too back in the day was like the phrase "never be afraid to show your ass," especially as a heel. It means like don't be afraid to embarrass yourself.
I mean,
someone once told me like if you want to be a badass, go do MMA. Like it's wrestling, it's a performance. So like,
all right. That's fair.
You want to call me Roberto Cruz, at least you're calling me something, and you're having fun with it and everything. So I think
that's pretty funny.
I'm a big fan of more of the outlandish stuff. I think a lot of guys don't lean into that because they think maybe they'll be like profiles like Santino Marella or just like a joke gimmick. And I'm like,
So you don't mind the joke gimmick? Like,
no,
you don't
there's
think
always
it's
a
that
time.
Big of a deal?
There's always a time to turn it up.
But like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. There is a place for it. I agree. Like, obviously, there's a place for it. It's welcome.
There's that old catchphrase I hate using because everybody says it, but it's true. Like, wrestling is like a buffet. Everyone always says it. Like,
but it is true. Like,
everyone.
It's definitely true. It's definitely true.
Just wait for the next one.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
like I realized real early in my career, because like I said, I broke in with Bam, and he was like a prodigy. He's one of the best. He's like in the ring, and his gimmick's always been good, and everything about him's good. But he's natural in the ring. And I had 2 left feet when I started, and I'm like okay, I'm gonna keep up with him because I'm a competitive guy. I'm like, I quickly learned like I had to like be true to myself. I'm like, I can't keep up with him. He's so good. So I had to like find a different avenue. I'm like, I gotta come up with a different gimmick and be more of a character, like a cartoon character, without insulting the art of pro wrestling, obviously, but
I mean,
find a different lane to find something that works. You know what I mean? And it's worked for me for the most part. I think like the way I look at it is I try to appeal to a non-wrestling fan. Like I try to imagine like if you're a wrestling fan and you bring your friend with you, oh, he's here from out of state, we're going to a wrestling show, but I don't like wrestling, but you got to come to this show, it's awesome. And then you come out and you say, oh, here's Cruz. Like I bet you if you say something to him, he'll get into it with you, or he'll do something stupid, and then because then you got a fan that's like a non-wrestling fan and they had fun at the show, and then the wrestling fan on the way home might be like, oh, that quote unquote 5-star match was the shit. But then their friend that doesn't know any wrestling might be like, yeah, but when Cruz said this or that was great. And it's
that's kind of where I am sometimes with shit. Like sometimes it's the interaction that makes more of a difference. Like everybody does flippy shit or like does this or like. Well, no, but like a lot of it gets tiresome. Or, you've seen a thing, although your thing where you go like, boop, like that, I don't know what that is.
The fallaway slam?
Yeah, that's... But, everybody does those. But, so you have to have something more than just a move set for me.
Yeah, I think you can lean...
I'm trying to say.
In my opinion, you can lean one way more or the other. There's guys that are better wrestlers, better high flyers, better technicians, better showmen, whatever you have it, but you could be really good and highlight the positives, something you're good at, and hide the negatives. But if you can improve in the things you're not good at and kind of blend it all in to find the right balance,
I think you do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's a lot of really good guys out there. I just
there are
try to
they're all here apparently, and all of them came out during the one match. Was there 50,000 people in that goddamn match? Okay, there was a lot. I don't know. They just kept coming.
A lot of beef in there.
My God, there was a lot of men. Ugh.
A lot of tough guys in there too. And this locker room here at Super Shogun too. It's one of the best locker rooms.
That's
just the camaraderie back here.
That's what I keep. That's why I keep coming back.
Ben won't tolerate a negative person.
No, that's why I like it here. It's a good vibe, and I appreciate.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like tribalism's the wrong word, or like gatekeeping in a way. It's like I think they do a good job of just like not letting everybody on the card, like so no toxic people come in here, and the people they'll fit in the right pieces and everything. So
I don't think it's like, gatekeeping at all.
Because there's been guys that have showed up here and just expected to get booked, and they didn't do it, and got all pissed off about it. It's like, for one, the card might be full, and you don't know what they're looking for. You could just keep trying.
But also, like that kind of is telling, like, hey, that's maybe a good choice on their part if you get mad because you don't get booked because you show up. That's not how any of this works, bruh. I know that.
The best way really
silly.
The best way really into any wrestling promotion, if you're not getting on the card, is just to show up and just help. Just do the camera, work the door, all types of stuff like that. Yeah. And the cream rises to the top.
Well, shouldn't you ought to want to do that anyway? Especially for a good promotion.
True.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just silly.
I've known guys in the past that were hiding in broom closets. When it comes time for teardown, I'm like, that's insane.
Wow. That's some shit, man. I appreciate they don't have you guys put the ring up before.
Oh, we appreciate it.
I appreciate it because I like you guys can focus on the matches because I really feel like it shows in the matches.
That's what they've said.
Yeah.
To all of us. I think Brody and Jared, Mad Dog, played a cruel joke on us today. They feed us, they cater every time. We had a barbecue. Yeah. All the baked beans you can eat.
Oh.
I said the day of a rumble.
Oh my!
Luckily, most every guy, you got to try to look good in there. They waited till they got done to eat, but like
that's hilarious.
That could end pretty bad. I wrestle in I wrestle in trunks. I started for the most part wrestling in trunks, and when I first started, my nerves still get bad, but I would get so nervous, my stomach would just go, just nerves, and I feel like I'm gonna shit my pants. And I'd always say, the day I shit my pants in trunks, I gotta retire because there's no coming back from that.
Oh God! Oh, that'd be so bad.
I've been body slammed before where I thought that was it. I go, So I wrestled this one match back in the day. It was like this outdoor show, and it got done early, and they're like, "Who wants to run more matches?" And John Campbell was like, "I want to work you," and always respected the guy. Great guy, great wrestler. And at the time, I was like changing my gear. I just broke in like maybe 2 years, and I was like so nervous. I was like, I mean, I'm already changed. And he's like, "Well, you want to or not?" And I'm like, "I can't say no." This is what I told him. "Well, I can't say no." He goes, "You can." I go, "No, I can't." So he goes, "We won't even do entrances.
Okay.
I'll just jumpstart you in the entrance."
Okay.
And he's real good at crowd work. So
all right.
he starts beating my ass, and it's like 90 degrees outside.
Holy
in a parking lot. And he's kicking my ass and everything. And he like grabs this bottle of water from a fan, and he pulls my trunks back and starts pouring it down my trunks. And I'm doing the whole. I remember thinking, just don't get on my boots, or whatever. Thought it would ruin him at the time. And then we finished the match and everything. I go walking back through the curtain, backwards bam, standing right there in the curtain. I'm blown up so bad. I said, "It finally happened, man. It happened." He goes, "What? What happened?" I said, "I shit my pants, man. I shit my pants out there in front of the crowd, in front of everyone." He goes, "Well, are you sure it's shit? Maybe it's just like, the whole bottle of water you had poured down your trunks." I was like, yeah, man. You're right. I was just joking, It was the water. Which it was. Hey, you can't make up moments like that.
That's awful. That's so bad. Oh God, I can't breathe.
It's one thing to like, it's one thing you don't want to like do stuff for the boys in the back, you want to do it for the crowd, but if you can have moments intentionally or not where you make yourself laugh in the match, that makes wrestling a lot more fun.
Does that happen all the
For me it does.
Does it?
Oh yeah. When I first started wrestling, I was so nervous. I just would mess. I still do to this day. I just fuck with the refs, the ring announcers, everything. Just I don't want dead air. You know what I mean? And even tonight, I was saying some really horrific things to the ring announcer and Cherry reffing, just try to make them laugh.
Do you like to like back and forth with the crowd?
Oh, I love it. I told one of the fans tonight. They said some bad stuff to me. I said, "You kiss your mother with that mouth?" They said, "No." I said, "Well, I kiss your mother with this mouth." And that's something one of my trainers, Sean, said that one time, and it was really good.
I love that. That's beautiful.
It's fun. But I think after this win against the Den, we're 1-1. I think we should get a rematch. The trilogy.
They're gonna kick your ass.
Bronco Busters all day.
They're gonna kick
one after another.
They're gonna kick your ass.
Well, that's for sure. With a team like that.
I love. Look, I love. I love you, but
it's cornrow Bojack. You got to look out for when these guys.
Oh no, someone's
ready. Getting whooped.
No, he is ready to go.
He shows up in a do-rag.
Yeah, it was do-rag Bojack.
When he has his do-rag on and his shirt comes off, it is ready to go. You're done.
He's got that Denzel Washington do-rag from Training Day too.
Yes, he's gonna kill you. He's gonna grunt and go whoop and like ooh, and you're dead. You're dead. So you'll be dead.
The best thing about those guys is how hard they go. Like, they're not there to hurt you, but people say it looked like it hurt. I'm like, well, it did. Supposed to.
That last match they had against Grim Reality, Quinn had a black eye. I'm like, oh yeah, those boys were hitting each other.
Yeah, there were some people out there in that Rumble tonight. Called that the produce Rumble because potatoes left and right.
That Rumble was insane. That was insane. And there was too many people. No, it was really good. I don't usually like Rumbles, and it was a good Rumble.
Hey, the return of Brody, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected that.
I cried.
Yeah, that's a big moment.
No,
It's been a long time
I
coming.
cried. I couldn't take my eyes off of him. I was so worried.
Look at.
I was amazed. I was so happy I was here for that, though.
Not to be corny, but being able not to walk and then come back, anything's possible. Anything's possible, kids.
I was glad that you and JJ and there was a couple other people, but like you guys spent the majority of the time with him because I know you guys are really all safe. I was really.
I just want to punch him.
You are mean. I will beat your ass.
And Mad Dog threw us out, but we pulled him back out of the ring. I think technically, if you eliminate me, but I come back and eliminate you, it should be like a Uno reverse, and I should be allowed back in the match.
No,
it makes perfect sense.
No, if you're
well, nobody explained the rules to me, so I am technically still in the Rumble. So in order to solve this, I have to have a one-on-one match with Surge, but. Actually, never mind. I will take the loss. I will graciously.
Yeah, I was gonna say you really want to do a one-on-one with that big ass motherfucker.
I'll let JJ do it. I'm gonna tag out.
That's mean.
I like how they tagged you and who came in second. It was him.
Yeah, nobody explained the rules. I see my tag partner.
See, is it? Yeah.
I had to tag him
poor
in.
guy.
Everyone's in there. Why are you trying to
Is
tag?
he sleeping? I feel so fucking bad. This is why I can't have nice things. All right. I am tired though.
Yeah, we could wrap it up.
Yes, I'm sorry. Can we do a part 2 where it's not, we don't have to, I don't have to feel guilty.
Yeah, it's so quiet.
It is. I feel so bad.
Why you got so loud?
Yeah, for this one, it's quiet. Every other one, you hear people over there.
Motherfucker.
We were saying so much crazy stuff during one of these you guys were doing. We're back there saying the weirdest stuff, and then we hear you guys doing the interview, and we're like, everyone's like, we're all getting canceled, like jokingly. We're like, oh, you hear us watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia back here on the TV, that's what you heard, but
we couldn't hear, but it just gets loud, and I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, because there's that opening right there.
It's fine. I don't really mind. That is the best water bottle.
1 gallon.
Dang. Now I'm getting sleepy.
Well,
Right, thank you. I appreciate you.
oh, definitely.